Rumplestiltskin. Once upon a time, there was a poor miller who had a very clever daughter. The miller was so proud of her that he was always boasting about her. One day, he even boasted about her to the king. "Your Majesty," he said, "my daughter is so clever that she can spin straw into gold." The king did not believe the miller, but he loved gold. He commanded the daughter to come to his palace and led her to a room with a spinning wheel and a pile of straw. "Spin this into gold by morning, or you will die," he said, and he locked her in. The daughter was very frightened. "I can't spin straw into gold," she said, and she cried and cried. Suddenly, the door crashed open, and in came a funny little man. "Here I am," he said. "Now, what will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?" "I will give you my necklace," said the daughter, staring at him. The funny little man went to the spinning wheel and started to spin. He worked away all through the night, and by morning he had spun all the straw into fine gold thread. Then he disappeared. When the king came in, he was surprised but very pleased to see all the gold. He led the daughter to a bigger room with a spinning wheel and a bigger pile of straw. "Now spin this into gold by morning, or you will die," he said, and he locked her in. The daughter sat down and cried, but soon the door opened and in came the little man. "What will you give me if I spin this bigger pile of straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I will give you my ring," said the daughter, and the little man snatched it from her. The little man went to the spinning wheel and began to spin. By morning he had spun all the straw into gold. Then he disappeared. When the king came in, he was more surprised and more pleased to see all the gold, but he was very greedy and wanted even more. He led the daughter to a bigger room with an even bigger pile of straw. "Spin this into gold by morning, or you will die," he said, and he locked her in. The daughter sat down and cried, but soon the funny little man came in. "What will you give me if I spin this even bigger pile of straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I have nothing left," said the daughter. "Then promise to give me your first baby when you are queen," said the little man. That may never happen, she thought, but she promised. The little man went to the spinning wheel and worked all night. Then he disappeared. When the king came in, he was delighted to see so much gold. "Marry me, and we will always be rich," he said to the daughter. Soon there was a grand royal wedding, and she became a queen. When the queen's first baby was born, she was very happy. She forgot her promise to the little man. But one day he came in and reminded her. The queen cried until at last the little man said, "If you can tell me my name in 3 days, you may keep your child." Then he disappeared. All day and all night, the queen sat thinking of all the names she knew, and she sent messengers around the country to find lots of new ones. Next day, when the little man came in, she said, "Is it Tom, or John, or Henry?" "No, you are wrong," said the little man. On the next day, when the little man came in, she tried to think of different names. "Is it Bandy-Legs, or Crookshanks, or Bogglehead?" she asked. "No, you are wrong," said the little man. "If you can't tell me my name by tomorrow, I'll take the baby." Next morning, a messenger came to the queen. "I have no more names for you," he said, "but when I was in the forest, I saw a funny little man. He was singing, 'Soon the baby I will claim, for Rumplestiltskin is my name.'" "Oh, thank you," said the queen happily. When the little man came in, she said, "Is your name Mick, or is it Nick, or is it Rumplestiltskin?" "Someone told you!" the little man shouted, and he stamped so hard with rage his foot went through the floor and he had to pull it out again. Then he ran away and was never, ever seen again. The end.